Hello beautiful people, it's Cinderella. Welcome to the channel. Today we're back again with another video, and this is about still on the Blake Lively and the Justin Baldoni situation. We're gonna read this article from Deadline. This is Ryan Reynolds slam Justin Baldoni's $400 million gossip rage suit as Deadpool star moves for dismissal. Quite interesting and convenient. So we're gonna read this together, and I will love your thoughts and your contribution at the end of the video. Let's dive right in. So this is from Deadline again. Ryan Reynolds slams Justin Baldoni's $400 million lawsuit. Gossip rage suit as $400 million gossip rage suit as Deadpool star moves for dismissal. These are all of them, claiming that Justin Baldoni had nothing but clickbait falsehood and hurt feelings on him. Ryan Reynolds wants out of the It Ends With Us star $400 million defamation and extortion suit against the Deadpool leading man, Blake Lively, the New York Times, and Vision PRO's Leslie Sloan. The entirety of plaintiff's defamation claim appears to be based on two times that Mr. Reynolds allegedly called Mr. Baldoni a predator. A memorandum of law filed Tuesday in federal court by Reynolds' attorney declares, referring to an amended complaint by Baldoni and others earlier this year. But the FAC alleges no plausible facts that suggest Mr. Reynolds did not believe this comment to be true. Following the longtime publicist Sloan and the New York Times in wanting out of the sprawling suit that Judge Lewis J. Lerman on March 6 called a feud between PRO firms, Reynolds tries to shave the heart of Baldoni's case. The memo says Baldoni's main accusation is namely that Mr. Reynolds and an unnamed executive at WME had a conversation during a movie premiere about Mr. Reynolds' deep disdain for Baldoni, suggesting the agency was working with a sexual predator, referring to remarks allegedly made a Deadpool and Wolverine screening and elsewhere. It goes on to say the FAC does not allege that it goes on to say the FSC does not allege what precise term Mr. Reynolds used in this alleged suggestion, the sentence in which he allegedly suggested it, or any information about the context of the conversation other than that. One of them was about how much Mr. Reynolds disliked him for having sexually harassed his wife. For those who missed it, it all started when Lively filed a lawsuit. Okay, we're not gonna read all of this timeline because I missed. Okay, so let's just read it. For those who missed it, it all started when Lively filed a sexual harassment and retaliation complaint against Baldoni, his Wayfarer Studios and others with California Civil Rights Department on December 20th, crying foul over the December 21 posted NYT expose, "We can bury anyone inside a Hollywood smear machine." Baldoni and his inner circle sued the paper for libel, fraud, and more on New Year's Eve for $250 million in California state court. The same day, Lively officially sued Baldoni in federal court, dropping a timeline online. Baldoni and his gang unleashed an expanded amended complaint on January 31. On February 18, the Gossip Girl alum filed her own amended complaint against Baldoni, adding self-described hired gun Jed Wallace, who allegedly worked with Baldoni's publicist Melissa Nathan and Jennifer Abel to orchestrate a so-called social manipulation smear campaign against the actress in the lead up to It Ends With Us release. Claiming he wasn't involved with any smear campaign against Lively in the summer of 2024, Texas-based Wallace has sued the actress for millions in the case of his own. Publicist Abel's old boss Stephanie Jones of Jones Work is also suing her ex-staffer Baldoni and others for ending the Virgin's vet contract with the firm, and Abel going off to put up her own shingle. Amidst all the big names, aka Taylor Swift, big money, big agencies move, WME loves Reynolds and Lively dumped Baldoni. And legal swings by everyone in this mess. Reynolds says today is all personal when you get down to it. Mr. Reynolds is a defendant in this action for one reason and one reason only. Because billionaire plaintiff Steve Sarowi's promised to spend up to $100 million to ruin Miss Lively and Mr. Reynolds, says the 38-page filing. Referring to the financier and co-founder with Baldoni of Wayfair Studios, the first amended complaint that Saris and his co-plaintiffs filed seeks to fulfill that promise by polluting the court's docket with hundreds of paragraphs of clickbait designed for an audience other than this court, with virtually no bearing on cognizable legal claims. Citing the new-ish filing from Brian Friedman represented Baldoni, his Wayfair Studio CEO Jamie Heath, Saris, and Nathan and Abel as more a gossip rage, full of thin-skinned outrage than legal documents. That's this thin-skinned outrage. Are you sure it was the lawyers that wrote it? Are you sure it wasn't the Reynolds that wrote this legal filing? Reynolds, okay, than legal document. Reynolds, Mike Gottlieb, and Ezra led legal team want their clients to be able to walk away from before this matter goes to trial in next year. With the exception of the disparaging remarks Reynolds is said to have made about Baldoni at one point, the heft of today's filing really comes down to an assertion on Reynolds' part that there is no there. The entirety of Mr. Baldoni's case appears to be based on Mr. Reynolds allegedly privately calling Mr. Baldoni a predator. But here is the problem. That is not defamation unless they can show that Mr. Reynolds did not believe that statement to be true. Gottlieb and Hudson told Deadline today. The complaint doesn't allege that, and just the opposite. The allegations in the complaint suggest that Mr. Reynolds genuinely believes Mr. Baldoni is a predator. The Wiki, Farr, and Gallagher LLP, Amanat, Phelps, and Phillips lawyers added. Mr. Reynolds' wife has accused Mr. Baldoni privately and in multiple complaints of sexual harassment and retaliation, and as pointed out by Mr. Reynolds' motion, Mr. Baldoni has also openly spoken about his past of mistreating women and pushing the boundaries of consent. The duo continue. Mr. Baldoni, Mr. Reynolds has a First Amendment right to express his opinion of Mr. Baldoni, which should be comforting to a group of people who have repeatedly called Miss Lively and Mr. Reynolds bullies and other names over the past. Representative for Baldoni and his inner circle did not respond to requests for comment on Reynolds' filing, that Friedman told Deadline earlier today that he believes the news site and others are on writing side of history on this as well. And as on the payroll for Reynolds, Disney and the New York Times, a statement may not be forthcoming. So that because we haven't seen any checks from the actors Bob Iger or the Grey Lady digging into the Baldoni First Amendment complaints. FAC claims Reynolds' dismissal effort doesn't play nice for. The Wayfair party says that Mr. Reynolds extorted them but failed to allege that he received any money or property. They claim he interfered with the contract without identifying what that contract is. What provisions were allegedly breached or which of them were parties to it. They assert $400 million in the damages without explaining anything about who suffered that loss in what proportion as a result of what claims, or what proximately caused such losses. The FAC is long on hyperbole, pros and claims, but devoid of of any facts necessary to state one record recognized by law. It is in essence a bond book filled with grievances attempting to shame Mr. Reynolds for being the kind of man who is confident enough to listen to the woman in his life and to hold her anguish and actually stand with her. The FAC is in sum a textbook retaliatory slap suit, and it should be dismissed with prejudice. Regardless of who gets free of the case or not, when the trial is set, uh, or not, and when the trial is scheduled to begin March 9th, 2026. Towards the date, Reynolds and Lively haven't actually been hiding from the public eye. The couple went on the red carpet with a nod to the legal proceeding on air together during the SNL 50th anniversary special last month. Both the Wexer FC co-owner and another Simple Favor star have also been out and about at other industry events, including this month's South by Southwest on social media. Sir, what you did so far is not you defending your wife, and I'm pretty sure from what we just read so far, it doesn't even look like his lawyers were the one that wrote this thing. It looks like he told them to write it, or he said, write this. I want this to be put there or inserted there, because I mean, he definitely has to insert himself. See, birds of the same feather flock together, right? Like husband, like wife. So, sir, you inserted yourself. I'm making a whole movie about nice pole or about your wife's boss is insane. But yeah, we're gonna also check this from Daily Mail. Everyone is writing from different angle, which is quite interesting as well. Hold on. But we're gonna read the one that we can read. And again, anyone that we cannot read, we continue, because we also have to go on to Reddit, right, to hear what others have got to say. So yeah, this is from Daily Mail. Blake Lively's husband Ryan Reynolds called Justin Baldoni a predator in blistering motion to dismiss case against him. Updated 22:58. So it's recently been updated. Ryan Reynolds has unloaded on Justin Baldoni in a blistering demand that he be dismissed from the movie producer's $400 million lawsuit against him. The Deadpool star publicly defended his wife, Blake Lively, and mocked Baldoni for his thin-skinned outrage and his hurt feelings in a brutal filing to a court in New York, in which he called the actor a predator. Reynolds said that he believed Baldoni harassed his wife on the set of It Ends With Us, which led to the two sides suing each other for defamation. Over 38 pages, Reynolds called himself a supportive spouse who has witnessed firsthand the emotional reputation and financial devastation his wife suffered. Reynolds accused Baldoni of attempting to shame him for being the kind of man who is confident enough to listen to the woman in his life and stand with her. And Reynolds said he was entitled to have a low opinion of Baldoni because of what he has put his wife through. Yeah, you have a right to defend your wife. Nobody is disputing that. But I think making a whole movie to like mock your wife's boss, is that reasonable? That is not defending your wife. It's called insecurity with a capital letter Y behind. And that is insecurity pro max. It is not defending your wife. It is not standing up for your wife, sir. And remember the berating, and why is your wife's boss allegedly holding a meeting or in your penthouse holding a meeting with you, and you telling your boss how good your wife is and how good your wife's script is and how good he must accept your wife's script allegedly. or the scene that they wrote, only to realize that it wasn't even your wife that wrote it, it was you. You are praising your work, you're forcing your wife's boss to collect something. So you want to tell me if your wife, so let's say this, let's say for people who are regular workers, right? You're supposed to file a report for your office or for your whatever, and your husband is, and you as a woman, you go on to tell your husband about what is going on, and your husband decided to write the reports in for you, or the report for you, and then you submitted it to your boss, and your boss said, oh, this is good, but we're gonna work with something else, we're not gonna take it, or we're gonna find a way to insert it somewhere. And what he thought of to do is going back to your husband to tell your husband, oh, you have to hold a meeting with my boss for my boss to accept it. And your boss so happened to come to your house, and your husband keeps telling your boss, oh, you have to accept this reporting or this and that, you have to use it, it is good. Then the mega celebrity friend so happened to pop onto the meeting and say, oh, my best friends, whatever, reporting is good, you have to accept it. And he later so accepted it, right? Right, that is not sticking up for your wife. But again, remember that that was the exact same period allegedly that the we saw a Khaleesi text message and a dragon. Because I mean, that sounds like something that people should be proud of, because no sane person would be sending a text message to somebody calling themselves a Khaleesi and that they have dragons, little monsters of mine. The paper said Mr. Reynolds has a First Amendment right to hold Mr. Baldoni or any man who Mr. Reynolds believes sexually harassed his wife in deep disdain. The filing marked an extraordinary twist in the epic battle between Baldoni, Reynolds, and Lively. Lively was the first to sue in December last year, alleging that Baldoni ordered the smear campaign against her due to tension on the set of Intense Results, a domestic violence drama. Baldoni 41 retaliated with a $400 million lawsuit defamation case against Lively 37 and Reynolds 48, as well as the New York Times, which ran a lengthy article about her claim. In his latest salvo, Reynolds demanded that he be dismissed from the case on several grounds, but his scorching language indicated how personal the dispute has become. Na him insert himself there o, na him insert himself there in the first place. Justin Baldoni hired only one of the Reynolds or one of the Livelies, and it so happened that this is buy one get one free. So he hired only one, but again he got jara. Buy one get one free. That is what happened in this case. His lawyers asked, why does Ryan Reynolds have what does Ryan Reynolds have to do with this case, legally speaking, other than being a supportive spouse who has witnessed firsthand the emotional, reputational, and financial devastation Miss Lively has suffered? Nothing. Reynolds claimed that the only reason he was named as a defendant was because Mr. Saoris, the co-founder of Baldoni's production company, Wayfair Studios, had pledged $100 million lawsuit to ruin him and Lively. Now, this $100 million pledge, now they paying this family. Nothing they paying them pass. So this $100 million pledge, now they paying them. That is what I believe. Like it they paying them because they don't, maybe they don't have somebody who will back them up to say, okay, yeah, they are pledging to support them or to fight or whatever. But this alleged $100 million pledge, now they paying them pass. The Deadpool star claims that Baldoni's allegations are polluting this court's docket with hundreds of paragraphs of clickbait designed for an audience other than the court, with virtually no bearing or cognizable legal claim. Reynolds noted that the allegations against him refer to two occasions he supposedly called Baldoni a predator, but Reynolds said that this is protected speech because he firmly believes it. The filing states the complaint filed by Baldoni alleges no plausible fact that suggests Mr. Reynolds did not believe this comment to be true. Instead, the relevant allegations suggest that Mr. Reynolds genuinely, perhaps passionately, believe that Mr. Baldoni's behavior is reflective of a predator. Reynolds then referred to Nice Pool, a mocking woke character in Deadpool and Wolverine, which premiered last July, which Baldoni claims is based on him, even down to the man bun hairstyle. The document says Baldoni's thin skinned outrage over a movie character, the satirical woke Nice Pool, does not even pretend to be tied to any actual legal claims. Instead, it falls into the general allegations of hurt feelings, which is in reality is nothing more than a desperate effort to advance the same created bully image that Baododi created and disseminated in the retaliation campaign they launched against Miss Lively in August of 2014. In another blistering passage, Reynolds said that Baldoni's complaint, which ran to 179 pages, was long on hyperbole. Thank God, Reynolds say. He writes it he writes, it is in essence a bond book filled with grievances, attempting to shame Mr. Reynolds for being the kind of man who is confident enough to listen to the woman in his life and to hold her anguish and actually stand with her. Reynolds goes on defending Lively, saying he's allowed to stand up for her. Of course, you're allowed to stand up for your wife. I don't think anybody is disputing that. In another startling passage, Reynolds uses Baldoni's own public comments against him to demonstrate he's a self-confessed predator. Sir, do you have mirror? He says that Baldoni's own statement contained numerous references to conduct that a reasonable observer could well consider predatory. These include a 2023 YouTube interview in which Baldoni said, I'm sure I'm sure I have crossed boundaries and lines in in my teens and 20s, not even thinking about it simply because of the porn I was consuming. In a 2021 episode of the podcast Man Enough, in which he talked about masculinity, Baldoni said, I grew up and I had an addiction to porn. I was introduced to porn at 10 years old, formed these neutral pathways in my brain, and it caused me to see the world very differently. Says the same person that allegedly took a photo of their John Thomas and a video in their dad's whatever phone or camera. But I digress. But sir, you have to look in the mirror. You have to look in the mirror to look at yourself very well and look. When you look at the mirror, what is the mirror telling you? Does it look recognizable? If it doesn't, you have to change course. Maybe you have to buy a bigger mirror. The producer in another episode of the podcast, Baldoni, admitted, because no one ever sits us down and teaches us about consent. We learn it through con. According to the filing, Baldoni has also admitted to using violent language about women, such as, did you smash that? Says he wanted to claim women. Baldoni once said he had not treated women with respect he knows they deserve, both socially and romantically. The filing states Reynolds concludes, which it is unclear what predator means to an average listener. It is quite clear that there is no discernible distinction between the gist of Mr. Reynolds' purported statement and the very behavior of which Mr. Baldoni has repeatedly confessed in public appearances, including that he spent years of his life mistreating women, which he attributes to a lengthy addiction of pornography, as well as openly describing his distorted conception of consent in sexual relationships. Very rich, very very rich. The fact or the thought of you thinking that it makes total sense to use his word against him, because I mean, way to go, sir, way to go, way to go. So this is another one from Reddit. We're gonna read this from Reddit. This video is getting quite lengthy, but we're just gonna glance through it. This is from the Reddit post. It ends with us. Also, the user sufficient underscore reward 207 rounds motion to dismiss himself from Baldoni's lawsuit. Okay, let's read what people have got to say. Maybe one or two comments. This is from the user Real Housewife of Fila. This is getting really deeply embarrassing for Ryan. His whole motion is basically the narcissist prayer. That didn't happen, and if it did, it wasn't that bad. And if it wasn't, that's not a big deal. And if it is, that's not my fault. And if it was, I didn't mean it. And if I did, you deserved it. ETA, Blake and Ryan are so mad that Steve Sarowick decided to use his launch money on this lawsuit because they mentioned $100 million repeatedly, and they low key going broke and sitting over their legal bills. Like, now that $100 million now they paying them, nothing else. That 101 because somebody say allegedly that they want to donate 100 million to Justin Baldoni. Now that one they paying them pass, nothing else. Another user commented, agreeable dash card 9011. It was embarrassing to read. The whole thing was him basically admitting that he hates Justin Baldoni and that everything he's done was justified because he doesn't like Justin Baldoni. Exactly. Absolutely. And RR allegedly really believing JB, Justin Baldoni, is a predator. He decides to text Justin Baldoni about having the producer's face tattoo on his RR perineum and going on about how the perineum is one of the most nervy part of the human body to expose to trauma. Get the F or out of here. RR imagine what other kind of text message this freak has with his wife and close friends. Like, see, the pot is calling the kettle black. That is even what is even not making sense. Hmm. Somebody commented, please elaborate. So here it is. This is from Pezin. He texted Justin Baldoni pleading to move their shoot schedule 2 weeks, which is insane, which is an insane thing to ask for a film production. It's easily causing a chain reaction with different departments, equipment, sets, and budget that can cost hundreds of thousands or millions of dollars and cause ruins and with unions and conflict in entire department and other films people are working on. He thought it was funny to incentivize this by promising to tattoo the space between his penis and anus. They then have the audacity to say Baldoni is sexually harassing Lively because he feels fat, she feels fat. It's like a funhouse mirror in their world, and Reynolds and Lively are just gross and fat phobic in general. See, the two couples are just alike. Like, see, you marry your type, and obviously they marry their type, which is perfect, and they should not leave each other. They should stay there. Who are they leaving who for? Because the both of them, the same group of people. I think that's about all the comments we can take for now. Okay, let's just go over. Okay, let's take what this user have commented. This is Gigi Leru. Ryan actually saying that he's the man that JB's brand pretends to be. Laugh my LMAO. You can tell whenever Ryan writes something because he can't help but weaponize man enough quotes every chance he gets. Creepy AF. Exactly. Exactly. And yeah, this user commented common underscore copy 3482. He's projecting because he is what he's accusing Justin Baldoni of being. Like, see, he obviously doesn't even have a mirror in his house because if he does, he would realize or he would know the truth. But yeah, this is as far as we can check. But let me know what your thoughts are in the comments below. What do you think about this so far? I would love your contribution in the comments below. Make sure to like, comment, share, subscribe, and all that stuff. And until next time, see you in the next video.